I turned the music on louder. Ha! Punk. Perfect. I started headbanging. So what if I don't have long hair like a hardcore guitar player? I used to know a guy like that. He gave himself a mohawk and went to work. He worked at a children's activities center. As soon as the director saw him, he started lecturing him that there were kids there and that he couldn't walk around with hair like that. He got offended. Asked her, "Am I legal age?" "So you are." "Am I allowed to choose the president?" "So you are." "Then why can't I choose my own hairstyle?" Couldn't fire him. The law says he's right. Oh, but how he headbanged to this very Friday 13. I too stuck my fingers up on both hands and started waving my finger. Horns in tune to the music. This is fun. Why didn't I do this at concerts when I was younger? Because I'm an idiot, that's why. I didn't even notice my neighbors pounding on the ceiling. For them, it was the ceiling. For me, it was the floor. Nose, floor, ceiling. That was a fun game in kindergarten. I touched my nose and shouted, "Nose!" Pointed down, stomped, and loudly marked the floor. I jumped when I named the ceiling. I started changing the order while gradually increasing speed. Got confused and giggled. Pound all you want. Today is my turn to have fun. What else do I have that's noisy? Vacuum cleaner. The old Baron roared and smothered the music. Even punks aren't as loud as vacuum cleaners made in Russia. There! I even got the cleaning done too. When I turned off the vacuum, the sound system, it turned out that the neighbor's TV fell silent. There wasn't any pounding either. I came up to the balcony door and looked outside. A vaguely familiar Lotta 6 was standing there. This must not be the first time that bucket parked on that flower bed. A couple of strange men and the well-known neighbor Valentine were dragging heavy plastic bags toward the car. They dumped the bags into the trunk and rushed away on the bucket farting with the broken tailpipe. Valentine went into the building. I, too, went back to my room and prepared for sleep. Ringing. The doorbell. It couldn't be the phone because I have a ringtone from The Big Bang Theory on it. That was definitely the doorbell. Oi! What is this? I'm gonna drink some water while I am angry at not being translated. Now I'll never know what he says. His gaze fell on the unmade bed. He paused for a while, then hesitatingly asked, "Breaking the law again?" More like breaking the sleep schedule. I was awake all night again. Hoped that at least now I could get some sleep. But how can I? The TV was blasting even in the morning. Citizen Ivanov noticeably brightened up for some reason. "I don't heart it." Okay. Of course you don't. They always... Oh, I don't hear it? That's probably it. Of course you don't. They always turn it off before you come over. There has been a complaint. What is it? The wait again? I should just buy one already so you'll have a reason to come here. No, dancing. Excuse me, what? Dancing? Look at me. Because of their TV, I look like a raccoon. I haven't slept in days. Do I look like I'm about to dance? But the complaint. Why would the old lady lie? Why don't you ask her? I'll sue her for slander and repeated disturbance. I'll invite someone to check the noise level after 11 p.m. Who was I going to invite? I don't even know. I was getting carried away. The officer's hesitation made my day. Gennady Petrovich completely lost courage and quickly retreated. Even mumbled, sorry? But changed his mind and grumpily slammed the door. I went back to bed but couldn't fall asleep. It's all because of the stupid coffee and Coke. Then I sat down to write education plans and work till nighttime. In silence. At night, the TV turned back on, but I didn't care anymore. Something inside me clicked. The pen fell out of my hand and I started falling to the side. But I didn't feel the fall. I was asleep. It was dark at the staircase. The bag got caught on the central heating pipe. I yanked it free without stopping. The plastic tore, but the bag was freed, and I went outside. Something dark and thick dripped from the fresh tear and onto my sneaker. I cursed and tried to carry the bag further away from my shoes, but it turned out to be rather heavy. I couldn't hold it on the stretched out arm for long. Where am I supposed to put it? Oh, right. The trunk. The trunk of what? Of course. The rusty Lotta 6. Everyone else is taking their bags there too. The first one already reached the car, fiddled with the lock, opened it, and put his bags inside. I've already seen this bucket somewhere. It seems familiar. Of course it's familiar. I came here on it. While the second guy was loading his bags, the first one had already gotten in and started the engine. The exhaust came to life and the car shook in sickly convulsions. Meanwhile, I reached the trunk and put both of the heavy bags inside it, but one of them caught the bumper. The already torn bag ripped apart and something from its dark, putrid womb fell to my feet. I bent down and grabbed something soft and sticky like the fur of a road-killed dog. I raised it before me. I was holding a head. It was covered in bruises and gashes and thick, almost black blood. I know him. He's the guy Of course, it's that nutcase. What was his name? Vanya Naumov. The head opened its eyes and the dead gaze fixed on me. I wrote down the number of the beast. I'll shed light on you. You won't get away with this. I screamed. Oh gosh. No, what happened? Wow, what the heck? It's that disgusting feeling again. Like my hair is standing on end. It actually is. But not because of fear. Just my hairstyle. Short, spiky hair, which is uncomfortable to grab, especially if it's covered in blood. The clock said that I've been sleeping for less than 2 hours. I didn't argue. Let them say that. It's their right. I felt like I've been asleep for less than 2 minutes. How long can it take to carry a couple of bags from the building to a car on the flower bed? Dang it, where's my tea? I need to calm down. The brew spilled on my table. My hands are shaking. I'm starting to become more and more like an alcoholic. One way or the other, they'll get what they want. I'm already turning into one of them. I brushed the brew and comb and crumbs onto my hand and threw them in the trash. The bin is full. Looks like a good time to take it out. I tied the bag and picked it up. It seemed light. Of course it's light. My head isn't in it. I sniffled, even though I didn't know what I meant that to be. A chuckle or a sob. On my way out, I took a couple seconds to stand in the darkness and look around. Only when I was sure that there was no one outside, I scampered to the container. On my way back, I ran even faster. When I reached home, I told myself off. Do I plan to act like a stalker in the exclusion zone every time I leave the house from now on? There's no war now. I'm not a Jew on an occupied territory. I'm not even a red partisan. I live in Moscow, in peacetime. I'm an ordinary teacher, not a criminal, thief, or killer. And I'm scared of taking out the trash? There's a song called From Where the Motherland Begins. Now, I don't know where it begins, but I can imagine how it ends. With fear. Fear for your life, for your loved ones, with despair, helplessness, loneliness. Isn't it about time for me to go back to Finland? On the other hand, it's an apartment in Moscow. My legal apartment. My wife's and mine. She's waiting for me to finish renovating and call her over. It can't be true that a drunk who I'm keeping from watching the TV too loudly ordered a hit on me. That's ridiculous. Okay. But then again, I'm home. I'm not going anywhere. This is our cow and we milk it. That's exactly how I imagined Joking aside, this really is my apartment, and I will live in it. Officer Ivanov has already shown weakness. Now I need to use it. I wrote a couple more complaints on Valentin with his threats, and on the old lady with her TV, and sent them without the address. I knew that they would end up at the local police office on the table of Gennady Petrovich, and that in the neglected office everything gets lost like a swamp. And no one will ever see my complaints, or listen to my recordings, or try to save my life, or at least my health. I'll have to do that myself, on my own. Speaking of health, I reminded myself of Don Quixote. I'm planning to fight the system, the windmill of our time. It's like throwing crap at a fan, and that, you must agree, is not healthy. I feel that this huge fan is too much to handle. All I can do is use the logic of clumsy modern doctors who bought their diplomas. Cure the symptoms instead of the cause. Fight the old woman and the drunk. Doesn't sound much better. But Valentin's criminal friends complicate everything, and that brings the partisan war to a new level. We'll probably have to confront each other in armed conflict, which means I need to arm myself. It's possible that next time I won't run into the drunk with a knife, but into his friend with a gun. No way. I can't imagine myself holding a weapon. The most my upbringing will allow is a big club or a baseball bat. My room has sports equipment in it, dumbbells, crossbar, and a punch bag. A bat won't arouse any suspicion, plus it's absolutely legal. Oh my gosh. On the other hand, why would I fight swords with spaghetti? What am I, an idiot? Find a weapon! I don't know why I got so inspired thinking about weapons. I've always considered myself to be strictly peaceful and friendly person. And I've always tried my best to avoid conflicts. What can I do if that's impossible this time? I even thought I felt a bit happy about it. Ridiculous. I left home and went to the market. I returned carrying the pleasant weight of a pistol holster under my arm. I'm not going to bore you with how I walked along the roads looking for gypsies, Caucasians, and anyone who looked suspicious. Everyone who looked anxious and had shifty eyes was under my suspicion. Gold buyers seemed suspicious too. So did sellers of stolen phones who the police never bothers. Anyway, one way or another, I became the owner of an old Makarov and a box of bullets. Yes, I even paid extra for the holster, so no one could catch me off guard. The gun was always with me. Too bad that it didn't leave much money for renovations. I wanted to take the alley to avoid meeting anyone, but the weapon's weight gave me confidence. Near the building, I saw the rusty Lada 6 of Valentine's criminal friends, and for the first time, chuckled instead of shuddering. Let's see who's going down now. There come the Buddy Boys. They're entering the building. Where have they been keeping themselves? Perhaps they were out stalking someone in that alleyway they came from. Maybe even me. Whistling, I walked into the building, entered my apartment, and immediately went to my room. Almost right away, the TV started roaring from below. I got pissed. Earlier, I felt despair from being powerless, but now I was overcome with anger. I think I'm starting to understand them. If you can do something, you start wanting to do it. No, stop. I'm not a murderer. The gun is for self-defense. Although, now I can go over there and demand quietness. And use the gun only if it's absolutely necessary. Or not use it if it's not necessary. Without hesitation, I went downstairs, rang the doorbell, and then started kicking the door. Apparently a kick in the door is some sort of password. You know me, open up. Valentine stood in the doorway. I watched many emotions flash through his eyes. Surprise, together with hate and joy, all at the same time. You came yourself. You. And he made a strike at me. There was no hello, no how are you. I beat him to it. My straight blow to the nose threw Valentine into the darkness of the entrance hall. I hurriedly walked over his senseless body and toward the TV sounds. I took the gun out just in case and took the safety off. This reminded me of something. I chuckled and started to spout a poem and whisper. I discovered that I've got relatives, and they're my lot. Poem from Brat 2 movie. It turned out that the dirty room with bottles and trash on the floor had 3 guests in it. And all 3 of them simultaneously reached into their pockets. The first bullet caught the guy who took out a gun. The blow back painfully hits my joints. The gunshot in the tiny room deafened and shocked everyone. I couldn't even hear what I was saying. They are woods that are so dear. But nonetheless, the second guy took out his knife and caught a bullet as well. Friends of corn and every ear. The third one was already aiming at me with a bottle he picked up off the table. I shot him in the head. Honestly, I was aiming for the bottle. I only wanted to scare him. Streams of water, skies of blue. That moment, I heard a roar come from behind me. I turned around and reflexively, shot at the dark. First, Valentine's favorite kitchen knife rolled out to my feet. Then he appeared himself to fall to my feet. Streams of water, skies of blue. At the same time, a rectangle-shaped light appeared. The bathroom door opened. I shot the dark silhouette before I had time to realize that it was the granny. The old woman silently fell back without letting go of the doorknob. The light disappeared. The door closed. I will tell them, I love you. I looked down at my shaking hands. I did it. A gunshot came from behind me and made me jump. He survived. That dang shooter of theirs is still alive. Already falling, I turned around and fired at the sound. The kinescope burst and shattered to pieces. I shot the television. The gunshots and voices died down and a puff of smoke rose from its mangled insides. As if it actually did shoot me with a gun. I have defeated you, butthole. You're dead. It's the homeland of mine. I picked up the gun again and let out the rest of the clip. Not that there was much to let out. Only one bullet remained. I idly pulled the trigger a few more times. I stepped out of the entryway and ran into Gennady Petrovich. He must be here to visit his favorite ghouls. I raised my gun. I will love it all the time. I didn't pull the trigger fast enough and the cowboy beat me to it. I was flung back into the darkness of the entryway. Why did I do that? I didn't have any bullets anyway. I will love it all the time. I vanished in the long-desired silence. There are definitely no TVs on the other side. Ending 7. I will love it all the time. Interesting. I get shot after going on a rampage.